Hello, soap fans, and welcome back to our channel. So John Oliver is coming to Days of Our Lives. Yes, the late night guy. The guy who sits behind a desk on HBO. He is actually coming to Salem, and we are typing this as fast as humanly possible because the deadline is looming. But we had to talk about it because John Oliver is not just doing a polite little cameo. No, he wanted the whole soap opera experience. He begged for a role, and the show gave it to him. But he did not just want to stand in the background. He wanted the hair. He wanted the silly name, and he wanted the physical altercations. And honestly, that is exactly how you should do a soap opera. Because if you are going to be in Salem, you have to go all in. And let us just talk about the name they gave. Devlin St. John. I mean, come on. That is the most amazing soap opera name ever created. It sounds so wealthy and sinister. Devlin St. John. It just rolls off the tongue. Dan Feuerriegel plays EJ DiMera. And Dan recently did an interview talking about working with John Oliver. And Dan spilled all the behind-the-scenes secrets. He said Oliver had a whole list of demands. But funny demands. He wanted a wig. Because you cannot be on daytime without crazy hair. He wanted a ridiculous name, and he wanted to get slapped, or to slap someone, so he got exactly what he asked for. And Dan confirmed that they actually got physical. Dan said they did the whole thing. Every soap opera cliche you can think of, they did it. Dan said he got slapped, and he slapped back. So we are going to see EJ DiMera and Devlin St. John just slapping each other on our screens. And that is going to be television gold. Because EJ really deserves a good slap right now. He has been acting like a total monster. So seeing John Oliver in a crazy wig just smacking EJ across the face is exactly what the fans need. It is going to be so funny, but also really dramatic. But why are they fighting? Well, Dan said that Devlin St. John is an intellectual match for EJ. But there is a catch. Dan revealed that EJ is sick, and that is a massive spoiler. EJ is sick. Why is he sick? We know EJ is under so much stress. He is completely spiraling because his massive drug cover-up is collapsing. EJ planted tainted Coruscant pills in Holly Jonas's bag. He framed a teenager to cover up his pharmaceutical crime. And now Holly knows the truth. She found out, and she unleashed her absolute fury on him. So EJ is losing his mind, and Gabi Hernandez is just sitting back and laughing. Gabi is highly amused by EJ's troubles. She is bothering him across town. So EJ and his assistant, Rita, are forced to take drastic action. And that is not all. Because Lexi is dying again. Dr. Rolf's Versavic's cure failed. And Lexi is facing death once more. She shared these heartbreaking scenes with Abe and Theo, and Abe is furious. Abe kicked EJ out of the hospital room, and EJ got a physical beatdown. So EJ is physically and mentally exhausted. He is weak. His family hates him. His cover-up is blown. And this is the exact moment Devlin St. John walks into his life. EJ is sick. So Devlin has the upper hand. And Devlin is going to use his intellect to mess with EJ. It is a perfect storm of drama. And we just have to say how impressive John Oliver was behind the scenes. Because shooting a soap opera is incredibly hard. They shoot so many pages a day. The dialogue is heavy. It is just walls of text. But Dan said Oliver was incredibly prepared. He came in and knew all his lines. He handled the massive amount of dialogue perfectly. And he was warm and friendly and totally professional. He proved he could hang with the daytime actors, which is huge because soap actors work harder than anyone in Hollywood. So John Oliver really earned his stripes in Salem, But the funniest part of the interview was about Oliver's height. Dan said he was actually surprised by how tall John Oliver is, because when Dan first met him on set, John was already wearing the wig, so he just looked like this wild character. But when Dan saw him without the costume, he finally realized it was John, and he was shocked by his height. Dan is a tall guy himself, so seeing them stand toe-to-toe for a slapping match must have been hilarious. You just do not realize how tall a late-night host is until they are standing in the DiMera Mansion. And it is just crazy to think about how they fit him into the show, because days, shoots, months in advance. Dan said it took them days to carve out room for Oliver in episodes that were already written. It is not easy to just drop a new character into the canvas, especially when the canvas is this chaotic, but they made it happen, because having John Oliver on the show is a huge deal. It brings so many new eyes to the soap, and it is just a really fun stunt, even if he is only around for a few episodes, because the rest of Salem is a total mess right now. While Devlin is slapping EJ, the teen scene is falling apart. Aaron Green is back in town, and he is teaming up with Ari to plan a surprise outing for Tate and Holly, which is a terrible idea, because Tate and Holly are totally broken up over the planted drug scandal. Aaron is completely oblivious to the drama. And then you have Rachel Black. Rachel is opening up to Brady about missing Kristen, because Kristen is MIA. She escaped EJ's kidnapping transport, and Rachel is struggling under the weight of Kristen's secret visit. So there is just drama everywhere. And then you have the whole situation with Alex and Chanel. They are hanging out in Horton Town Square, bonding over their babies, Kelsey and Trey. But Chanel is giving Alex these serious looks because his marriage to Stephanie is a disaster, and Chanel has her own problem. She shares this deeply emotional moment with Paulina at home. Paulina touches Chanel's baby bump, and they are just navigating the terrifying reality of Chanel's breast cancer. It is so heavy and so sad. So having John Oliver bring some comedy relief is really needed, right? And speaking of Alex, his marriage to Stephanie just hit a tragic breaking point. Alex actually suggested they stay at the Brady pub just to be closer to Kelsey and Joy Wesley, and Stephanie fiercely shut it down. She felt completely abandoned because Alex is prioritizing his child over their marriage. So heartbroken Stephanie goes to Jada's apartment seeking comfort and a safe haven, and Jada is already busy. Because Lonnie recruited Jada to investigate why Lexi left town alone and why Kristen went missing, Lonnie has no idea about EJ's botched kidnapping. So Jada is investigating the DiMeras while trying to comfort Stephanie. So yeah, Salem is exploding, and Devlin St, John is walking right into the fire. He has the wig. He has the silly name. He has the slapping hand ready. And EJ is sick and vulnerable. It is going to be an epic showdown, and we will be watching every single second of it. We love when the show embraces the campy soap traditions, and John Oliver is the perfect guy to do it. So get ready for the slaps, get ready for the heavy dialogue, and get ready for Devlin St, John. It is going to be a wild ride.